And we want to hear from you, 256-576-4977. But how about this? How about this, Drew? We want to pay for somebody's breakfast today. We're going to give somebody your breakfast today. All you got to do is come on in here. Listen to us now. Come on in the show. Come on down here, and we will take care of your breakfast this morning. That's that simple. We'll do that. We'll treat you to breakfast if you come on down here to Bubby's Diner right along Whitesburg Drive. So make sure you listen and come on down here. Good food and going to be a good time for the next 2 hours. You ready for some breakfast?
Yeah, I'll definitely be partaking in some breakfast. I've already seen a good friend of mine, Miss Ann Keith, formerly Ann Couch. She was the longtime librarian at Huntsville High while I was there, and was great friends with her son, and it's great to see her this morning. Her son, Ethan, is a businessman here in town and does a great job with Yellowhammer Brewery. He's a guy that I grew up with. We met in high school, really in middle school, and we're good friends through high school. And it's great to see her. She listens every day, and she's coming in here to Bubby's to have some great breakfast with her husband. So already seeing folks and that's what you do when you come to Bubby's Diner.
Yep, and so just come on down here. We'll take care of your breakfast this morning. 256-576. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And if you want some breakfast here at Bubby's Diner, you can get everything from the eggs. You got country fried steak, biscuits, gravy, pancakes, French toast, and you have the donut slider. Okay? The donut slider. Bacon or sausage with cheese and an egg, I believe in between a glazed donut.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
That screams breakfast.
Yeah, Bubby he dropped some of that by our old location before we relocated and he opened here. But yeah, we got a chance to try a lot of the menu, and the sliders was part of that. So they're definitely one of the staples on the menu.
All right, so that's Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive. What do we got in store for you today? Well, we're going to set the stage for what will be another exciting Saturday of SEC basketball. Alabama and Auburn both in action. We said all week we wanted a response from the Alabama High School Athletic Association when it came to Oakwood Adventist. We got the response yesterday from Executive Director Alvin Briggs. You take it for what it is. We'll let you, we'll read a couple things of what he had to say. Art Briles is back in college football, not among the Power Five, but will it open up a door for a return? The UAH Chargers get it done on the hardwood last night, sets up a big Saturday at home. We'll talk about that as well. But we get you ready for another Saturday of SEC basketball around the conference, a game that you'll be able to hear on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 24th ranked Alabama, South Carolina. That's a 5 p.m. tip. 4 o'clock Crimson Tide Sports Network coverage. Alabama back at home inside Coleman Coliseum, taking on South Carolina, tied 8-7. South Carolina 8-7 as well. This is turning into be a pivotal game for both the Gamecocks and Tide.
Yeah, it is. I mean, South Carolina's kind of hanging around. Alabama needs to put the nail in that coffin and end it and send the Gamecocks to the NIT, and I think they could do that with this home win. They certainly need to protect the home court, which they've done, following the loss to Kentucky. They've lost to 2, I think, 1 seeds, and at worst, Kentucky's going to be a 2. But it kind of humors me to watch people try to say that Kansas is a 1 and Kentucky's a 2 when Kentucky went to Allen Fieldhouse and burned it to the ground and beat them by 18 points.
Well, you can say Alabama. I mean, if Kentucky becomes a 1, somehow finds a way to be a 1, and Auburn stays a 1, that'd be 3 number 1s that Alabama would have fallen to. Or no, because they beat Gonzaga. They beat 2 out.
They would have played 3 of them, but they did. It would help Alabama try to get to that 4 line, which I think is Alabama's ceiling. But they need to protect the home floor, and it's a big deal because Nate Oates on his show this week talked about this being senior day. They're not going to do it on Wednesday against Texas A&M because I think they anticipate a bigger crowd on a Saturday. It's their last Saturday home game. They're going to honor 5 seniors, that meant a lot to the program, including the 2 walk-ons that returned to the team a year ago or for this season because, they even those guys get COVID years and they decided to come back, and so they're going to honor Britton Johnson of Mountain Brook, who it was a huge part of Bucky McMillan's program. There's no doubt about that. Tyler Barnes, the walk-on from St. Xavier High School in Louisville, Kentucky, he will be honored. Actually, this will be the second year in a row because they were honored last year but decided to return. And then James Rojas, who's made it back from a knee injury. He didn't join the squad on the active roster until January, but he's played a pivotal role coming off the bench for the University of Alabama. And two guys who, some thought might take a COVID year, but Javon Quinterly, I've said it repeatedly, he's 23 years old. And really, Javon has another year of eligibility. It wouldn't even be a COVID year because he redshirted a year at Alabama when he didn't win the appeal to be immediately eligible. He played a little bit at Villanova before transferring and now has played 2 years at Alabama. But again, he's a 23-year-old redshirt junior, and I think just realizes that he wants to move on and professionally, so they're going to honor him as if he was a senior. And then Keon Ellis, the junior college transfer from Eustis, Florida, he will go ahead and be honored on Senior Day. So as Nate Oates said on his show, we're not anticipating these five guys being with us next year. So those are the ones that are going to be honored. But then there was an announcement on his show that's very interesting. The graduate transfer, Noah Gurley, from Furman, actually is going to take a COVID year and has told the coaches he will return. So he will be back with Alabama. That's why he's not being honored. And then, of course, people ask about Jaden Shackelford. Jaden Shackelford is actually a true junior. He's been on the team 3 years. So he will have a decision whether to stay or go. Personally, I think he should stay. I mean, I don't think he's going to get drafted. I think he's a really good college player. But it's just one of those situations like a Bryce Brown or even a Jared Harper for Auburn, who are very, very good college players, but neither, were drafted and had to take the long road like a John Petty and even a Levi Randolph before them. So,
and Jared Harper is in the news because he just got selected to the U.S. national team. He's going to be a part of Team USA as they get ready for the FIBA National Championships. They selected Jared Harper to be a part of that.
Well, some congrats to him. He's done a nice job, with the Birmingham G League team that's part of the umbrella for the New Orleans Pelicans. And so, you really the Birmingham Squadron. You congratulate him, John Petty, also a part of that organization, with the Pelicans. So again, but that's what's going to happen with Alabama on Senior Day. They're going to honor those five guys that they are anticipating moving on. And if you look at some mock drafts, both Javon Quinterly and Keon Ellis are showing up in the second round a lot. So if they both finish strong, they got a chance to get drafted and move on in their pro careers. Could mean a start in the G League for both of them. But again, a contract is a contract, and we've already seen one young man from our state who went unselected, who's already gotten a guaranteed two-way contract, 4 years and $6 million, in Trendon Watford, who's with the Portland Trailblazers. So again, it's harder, but it's still doable. And Keon Ellis, his second year with the Tide after transferring from junior college, so he's going to count this as his senior year. And Javon Quinterly, redshirt junior, going to move on, looks like, after this season as well.
So that's the Alabama game. Don't forget, you'll be able to hear that right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. That comes up tomorrow. You got third-ranked Auburn on the road at 17th-ranked Tennessee.
Biggest game of the weekend in the SEC, amongst several. But if you want one to be what you would say on the marquee, that would be it.
Here's a little Bruce Pearl.
We've seen since 2019, which I think was the best team we had seen since I've been in Auburn. That 2019 team was one of my favorite teams from the standpoint of having great respect for an opponent. And this team here is I think, equally as good. The difference this year's team is actually better defensively. They turn you over, they steal the ball from you. They put a lot of pressure on you. They fly around. This is one of Rick's better defensive teams, and make it pretty difficult for you to run your stuff with steals and turnovers and forcing you to play a little faster.
Little Bruce Pearl there previewing tomorrow's Auburn-Tennessee game in Knoxville, saying that this is Rick Barnes' best defensive team since he's been there in Knoxville.
Yeah, they are really good defensively. It was a rock fight when they played Alabama early. I think it was Alabama. It was probably Noah Gurley's best game. Speaking of Noah, he had 20 that night and really helped Alabama get off to a good start. It was the first SEC game of the year, but of course, Fulkerson and Chandler, two of their key guys, were not there due to COVID. But they had some other guys step up and really play well and give Alabama all they wanted. And they've improved since that time. Chandler has really continued to get more and more comfortable as the point guard. Vescovy has really played at a high level. They've got a nice front line that's very physical, led by Fulkerson, who came back for a COVID year. And this is just an experienced Tennessee team with a sprinkling of guys like a Kennedy Chandler, who's given them better offense from the guard spot. And I just think right now, if you look at it, the Tennessee and Auburn definitely among the top 4 teams in the SEC. Alabama still has a small chance of getting in that top 4 and getting one of those coveted byes. But what's going to have to happen is a team like Tennessee losing out, or a team like Arkansas. And Tennessee is going to be very difficult to handle. Now, is Auburn capable of winning in Thompson-Boling Arena? Absolutely, because they're the deepest team in the league. They have a unicorn guy in Jabari Smith who's capable of going off for 30 or 35, and we've talked about it ad nauseum. Walker Kessler gives you an element inside defensively where he can erase a lot of mistakes if your guards aren't defending that well. So this is definitely a winnable game for Auburn, but a difficult environment because I think Tennessee is they're playing to move their seeding up, maybe even to the 3 line if they finish really strong. So they're a hot team right now, a really good team.
You say hot since they got blown out by Kentucky.
Yeah,
107-79. Since they got blown out by Kentucky, Tennessee has gone 9-2 with that in that stretch. That includes wins against then 13th ranked LSU, 4th ranked Kentucky. They did lose to Arkansas in that stretch, 58-48. That was at Fayetteville. Auburn also tripped up at Fayetteville. So you look, Tennessee comes in 9-2 in their last 11 since getting blown out by Kentucky. So Vols kind of righted the ship a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah,
there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, here we go with Rick Barnes again." A lot of talent, can't coach. Going to be a disappointing type of thing when that loss happened to Kentucky. But since then, they've kind of righted that ship.
All I can say is for the folks that try to say Rick Barnes can't coach, look at where Texas is since they let him go. Okay? And they had made 16 out of 17 tournaments. Tennessee was kind of a rudderless ship since Bruce Pearl had been forced out.
Yeah.
And so he's stabilized that. Everywhere he's gone, Clemson, Providence, he's won. Okay, and he's won consistently. He may not have, won a national title, and he went to one Final Four at Texas, but he's a really good coach who demands a lot out of his players. I think he's done a great job at Tennessee. Personally, I think he would have done a great job at UCLA, where he almost left to go, but Mick Cronin has, done a nice job there. Went to the Final Four nearly the national championship game last year. I think Tennessee was fortunate to hold on to him. And I think it's a good fit for the Vols, and I think he's doing a great job. I think it's going to personally be hard for Auburn to win that game just because of how well Tennessee is playing. But I'm fascinated, too, because, just kind of looking at it in the ESPN predictor, they've got Tennessee as a 72% favorite. But you look at Kentucky and Arkansas, you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
They beat Auburn at home. They beat Tennessee at home. They've been really good at home since they choked at the beginning of the year and lost to Vanderbilt by 1 point. Didn't play well, but they certainly picked it up. That was during that 0-3 start. Since then, they're 11-1 in the conference, and Arkansas is surprisingly only getting 40% of the of the predictions to beat to beat Kentucky at home. Now, if this was Rupp Arena with Mo, Larry, and Curly officiating. Yeah, I can believe that because you're not going to get any calls. John Calipari can headbutt officials, and they're not going to call a technical foul on him or whatever. Any other coach would get one technical, if not ejected. But again,
we've seen a lot of coaches ejected in the last 24 hours or 48 hours.
Yeah, I heard about Danny Hurley's this week with UConn because he clapped, and so the official decided I got to get on TV, so I'm going to.
Well, he turned around and waved his hands into the air to the crowd
to get the crowd involved, and the official ejected him because he had to get on television.
And then last night, Illinois had their head coach ejected, and he turned around after he was ejected, though, and did a wave to the crowd to get them more excited as well. But somehow we've seen a lot of coaches get ejected in the last 48 hours.
Well, we've seen Nate Oates recently get ejected. He basically told the official, go ahead, eject me, and then against Mississippi State. And Alabama responded and won that game at home. But, yeah, man, but it's surprising that Kentucky is considered by some in that game, because I would have to favor Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena, especially when I don't really know the health of Kentucky's starting guards.
Right.
Xavier Wheeler and Ty Washington. It would seem that would be extremely a difficult place to win, but Kentucky's capable of doing it. They did it against Alabama at home in Rupp Arena. But again, you're going on the road. So, and Arkansas, they have got a difficult schedule left, but they would have to lose out as well, and Alabama would have to win out in order to get that 4 seed, because Alabama's got to play South Carolina at home and then host Texas A&M, and then Alabama ends the regular season at LSU. So, and everyone knows playing Western Union on the road, the last game of the regular season, is not going to be easy, because certainly I think LSU will still be solidly in the tournament, but they're going to be trying to increase their seed, and there's no love lost. Alabama has owned LSU lately in basketball. Both the coaching staffs don't like each other, and so that'll be a highly emotional game. And you remember earlier in the year, the game in Tuscaloosa was a rock fight. Alabama won 70-67. Will Wade was not happy about the officiating and wasn't, shy about saying so. So that game will be a highly emotional one as well.
All right, we are live this morning from Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive. Get on out here and enjoy some breakfast. Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive. It's that simple, that easy. Get on out here, enjoy some of the pancakes, the French toast, the biscuits, gravy, and, of course, the donut slider. Your choice of bacon or sausage with cheese and an egg. Just $2.95 for the bacon slider or the donut slider. Get on out here, Bubby's Diner. Let's get our first break in. When we come back, I'll talk some high school hoops. Jakari Lane going to join us. Talk a little league basketball.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, Managing Partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama A&M University football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com and view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see ya in the Kia. Go Bulldogs!
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourself welfare. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Here in the South, we like our traditions, like Alabama football and tailgating on fall Saturdays. And the best way to start your tailgate? Visit Brooks & Collier to see North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers. Big Green Egg, Blaze, and Traeger. Everything you need for that perfect tailgate. Check out our rubs and seasonings. We have a full wall to please any taste palate. Visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for 75 years. Roll Tide.
Carrier Rosenblum here with Rosenblum Realty, and we appreciate our MA family. Football season is back again, and we're here for your real estate needs. We've been also doing rental properties for many years. You may have a home that you need to lease out. You don't need the headaches. You need somebody to take care of it, make sure the repairs are done, keep the rent coming in, and screen the tenants. We can do all that for you at Rosenblum Realty, where we do property management services, or you can find a good home to rent as well. Call us at 256-539-9501. Put our years of experience to work for you.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50s-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Got a wreck coming out of Morgan County, 4900 block of Highway 36. That's near Tanner Road, east of Danville. May have an injury involved there. And we got 2 wrecks now on 565, both reported westbound around mile marker 15. That puts them close to Research Park. Got a working structure fire on Judd Avenue. That one is near Ayers, 3600 block. Several pieces of fire equipment on that one. No hose, no mask. You can ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for information about the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
When we say local, we mean local, not Birmingham.
Loser.
We are the only sports talk station in Huntsville. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got a magical glow.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And it is indeed welcome back to Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you live this Friday morning from Bubby's Diner, located along Whitesburg Drive. Make sure you get on down here to Bubby's Diner. You can enjoy some great breakfast. They've got everything, the pancakes, the French toast, the donut slider, the country fried steak biscuit. They've got the eggs, the grits, the bacon, the ham. Oh, by the way, you can also get some hand-dipped milkshakes, floats, peanut butter pie, peach or blueberry cobbler with vanilla ice cream, banana splits, hot fudge sundaes. Hot dogs. You can get all kinds of hot chili dogs, maybe? You up for a chili dog? I mean, it's 7:30. That's about your time for a chili dog.
Well, I've had chili dogs early before, no question about that. But their menu here is really good. I've had some of the Philly cheesesteak. It was outstanding.
Yeah.
So their lunch menu is good. Their breakfast is good. Everything is good over here at Bubby's Diner. Come see us over here off of Whitesburg in the old Gibson's building. And you can say hello to Scott. And again, we're going to pay for your breakfast today, too.
Yeah.
So if you
come on in here,
and you can get some free breakfast at Bubby's Diner. Just come say hello.
Just sit down with us, and we will literally take care of your breakfast this morning here at Bubby's Diner.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of taking care of business, the Lee Generals took care of business at Wallace State Hanceville. And Greg Brown, again, has a team going back to Birmingham. And you know what? He was really coy with us at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And he was like, well, I don't know, this one. And he was like giving us the old rope-a-dope on this team. But there was one guy that stood out for this Lee General team this year. And you're not going to lose him because you're going to be able to see him play in the North Alabama for another 4 years.
Yeah, because he's going to be a UNA line to play for Coach Tony Pujol. But pound for pound, for me, he is the best player in our city, the best player in North Alabama, and he's had an outstanding senior year. He and Dexter Smith really kind of lead this team as seniors, but he has been a critical part of a state championship team already at Lee, and now trying to leave a legacy of back-to-back championships as they are the Northwest Regional champions, as they beat the Fairfield Tigers 48-28, and then win a emotional battle against Jeremy Bynum and the Mae Jemison Jaguars 55-51 to advance to yet another Final Four for their very proud program. And we're talking, of course, about Jakari Lane, and he's been good enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jakari, you're with Drew DeArmond and Scott Tyson, my man. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to hear from y'all, man.
Yeah, we were really happy to have you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for waking up with us. I realize you probably got to get. I mean,
his first class
this isn't
is at
too
8:30,
early. I mean,
think,
yeah, you're good, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, because Coach doesn't get you up for morning. You guys don't have morning practices at all, do you?
No, sir.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Now, he might get some shots up. You never know with a guy that is this good a basketball player. But Jakari, we just wanted to have you on the show and to talk a little Lee Generals basketball. You guys going to back-to-back Final Fours. You certainly had two emotional wins at the Northwest Regional. It was a game for a half, 21-17 halftime score, but you guys really amped up the defense and put away Fairfield 48-28, and then showing a lot of heart and determination. You guys were down 28-14 at a point in the second quarter to the rivals. Mae Jemison had to beat them for a fourth straight time, but really turned it up, and you kind of set the tone with a block at the end of the first half. You guys had, at that point in time, gone on a 12-0 run to cut the lead to 2, and really, I think it set the tone for a great third quarter as well. Talk about having to beat a team like Mae Jemison for a fourth time, a team where you guys know each other so well.
It's hard to beat the team 4 times in a row. It's hard to beat the team 4 times in a row, but I didn't want to lose. My team didn't want to lose, so I feel like everybody kind of, we started off rough. Everybody kind of picked it up, and we got it done on the defensive end. Stepped it up.
Well, Jakari, Drew kind of alluded to it. This is your second straight trip to the Final Four, back-to-back trips to the Final Four. What is different? Obviously, the players are a little bit different, but what else is different about this team than the last one that made the Final Four trip?
The difference is this team is we're very young. They're very young. Last year we had about 6 seniors, so it's definitely a difference. This team was very young, so I feel like they're very young. and Dex are leading them very well. They're buying in. I feel like they want it as bad as we want it. I feel like that's the difference.
Yeah, and I really think your leadership really showed through because you and Dex, I mean, Dex did not have the kind of game I know he wanted to have in the regional championship game, and I know you struggled in the first half as well. Neither of you guys had your normal shooting games. You were both 2 for 9 at halftime. You really got it kind of going in the second half, and Dex found a way to get to the free throw line and help you guys and put some points on the board. But kind of what was the mindset going into half? I know you guys had come back to cut it to 2, and you felt like you were right back in the game, but how did you guys kind of get get yourselves going in that second half?
Once we went in the locker room, we told each other it's not always going to be our night, and we got to keep pushing. Coach Brown told us this a win or lose game, so me and Dex, we took that personal, and we went out there and we kept pushing there and got it done.
Mm-hmm. How did it feel when you when that game was over and you knew you were actually headed back to Birmingham?
It felt great because this all I wanted my senior year was to go back to the Final Four, and I'm here, so it feels great.
Yeah, and we're really proud of you. And I've also got to ask you, I know you guys are a family at Lee. Coach Brown, that was kind of his message, in the post game when we were talking about Coach Jay Silas and the ladies. But how cool is it for the first time ever the Lee ladies make it, and they're going to go with you your senior year? You got both of you guys in the Final Four. That's got to be exciting.
All right, yeah, that's very exciting. I didn't even know this was the first time the girls ever went to the Final Four. So I'm very proud of Coach Silas and his girls. He pushes them very hard in practice every day, blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm very proud. I'm very proud of Coach Silas.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about you for just a minute or two. Your future will be with the UNA Lions and head coach Tony Pujol. Talk about that recruitment and what kind of separated North Alabama from everybody else.
Coach Willie Washington, he was consistent from the jump. Wasn't no other schools consistent like Coach Will and Coach Tony. So I feel like once I went down there on a visit, it felt like family. It felt like home. So I was there was a school that I came down to.
Well, and I know that Coach Brown told us as well, it's going to be big for you because you'll be near your family. Your mother can certainly go see you play, all your friends. That's big because that way it'll even be more of a family environment because home games, I'm sure you'll have a lot of people in the stands rooting you on.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's close to home, so it's easier for my fam to get to me. That's another reason why I chose the school. It's easier, it's right. It's an hour away from home, so I felt like it was easier for my mom, my family to get to me.
Well, and I've got to ask you, too, because your role changed this year. You've always been a crucial part of Lee basketball, but being a senior, being a leader, the first thing that really Coach Brown told us, as Scott said, he was kind of poor-mouthing a little bit at the city media days, but he certainly said that you and Dex, it was going to be your squad, and he really was proud of you guys and wanted you guys to have a special kind of senior year. But how has your role changed in your mind as a senior leading this Lee team? And you guys have almost wire-to-wire been number one. It's tough sometimes when you're the defending state champs because a lot of people have a target on your back, but you guys certainly have responded with a strong year. But how has your role changed with the team this year being a senior?
Last year I really didn't have to do much because we had guys like Caleb Brown, Tay Fields, Ryan Anderson, Henry, them guys. This year it's a difference. I had to step up. I had to take that leadership role because if I didn't take it, then nobody else wasn't going to take it. So I feel like my role changed a lot. I had to step up.
Mm-hmm. And are you somebody, as a leader, are you a quiet leader or have you been more vocal this year with your team, either in the locker room or on the floor? If I had to ask Jakari Lane what his leadership style is, what would you tell the listeners?
I'm more of a vocal person, more of a loud person, like energetic, just trying to get my team going.
Mm-hmm. Are you nervous, excited, ready to go for Birmingham?
I'm excited. You know, this is my second year at the Final Four. I'm ready to get it. I'm excited.
Well, I can imagine. I know Coach Brown and the coaches have been already breaking down the film, but a lot of times what separates guys is if they're willing to watch tape on their own and kind of break things down. I know I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here for an analyst role, but kind of tell us, about what you got, how excited you are for your next opponent, and I know you guys are going to be playing UMS Wright. I know it's a squad. They're from South Alabama. You don't see them very much. Have you watched much film with them? And if so, what's your early impressions of the matchup where you guys are going to be playing the final game on March the 2nd at 7:30?
Well, I watched a little bit of UMS Wright. Obviously, they're good. They made it to the Final Four, so they're going to be a tough squad. But I feel like my team, we're ready. We've been preparing for this time, so I feel like we're ready. We're ready to go out there and compete.
Yeah, and I know winning a back-to-back state championships. What would that mean to you to kind of leave a legacy like that and get a second ring on your finger before going to UNA and continuing your career with Coach Pujols?
It'll mean a lot. I don't think nobody ever won back-to-back, so it'll mean a lot. I did this in middle school. I went back-to-back in middle school, so this will be crazy right here. It'll mean a lot.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff, and we wish you the best of luck, Jakari, going forward, not only in the state tournament, but lacing it up for the Lions in Florence and Coach Pujols. Nothing but the best.
Yeah, and we're going to be watching you closely, and we wish you luck against UMS Wright, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Jakari Lane with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, senior for the Lee Generals, headed to North Alabama to play for Coach Tony Pujols here in the future. Obviously, he has big things on his mind, and that is bringing a blue map back to the city of Huntsville. And I'm trying to think, and I'm going back in my mind, and it only goes back to 99. But I'm trying to think, has there been a city school, not in the county, I know it's been done in the county, but has there been a city school that has won a girls and boys basketball championship in the same year?
I can't remember one, even when the Butler girls were so good. That was in the early to mid 90s, and Coach Doss, right after that, started winning his state championships with Courtney Beasley and that crew in the late 90s. So I don't think it's happened. I think the year Coach Ronnie Stapler won the state championship at Grissom, his first one in 1988. 89.
Yeah,
88. It was 88 because Johnson was in 87 with Danny Petty, because that was back-to-back Huntsville City Schools. 87 Johnson, 88 Grissom. I believe that year the girls went to the Final Four, or what was then the state championship, which is the state tournament, which is the Elite Eight. I think it was played at Calhoun. Okay. I believe their ladies went to the state tournament that year, but did not win. So I don't think it's ever happened that I can ever remember. I know that we've seen the Johnson Lady Jags go to state before, but I don't think that they did not win it the same year as Danny Petty and those guys did in 1987. So I can never remember a city school winning, both the boys and the girls state championships. It would be a monumental accomplishment,
and it'd be one school doing it. Lee could do it.
If Lee could do it this year,
yeah.
It's very rare to see it happen. Now, it's also happened at another school in our state this year in 3A. The ladies of Plainview, the Lady Bears, and then of course Robbie Coker's outstanding program there. Both of them are in the Final Four as well from North Alabama.
And we've seen it, like I said, in other county schools and stuff. We just not have seen it
but it's even rare for it to happen out there, too. It's just so hard to do. But again, we did have a monumental accomplishment that we covered a few years ago at 97.7 The Zone when Madison Academy pulled off the triple state title, and that was in the boys' sports, in
football,
the main three.
basketball, and baseball.
Which we'd never seen before. It's just very, very difficult to do. But again, kudos to Coach Silas, kudos to Coach Brown, and we're glad Jakari was able to join us for a few quick minutes. He's had a great senior season. He's just a grown man. I mean, I've watched him play many times, and those guys that leave, they faced adversity twice. In the Northwest Regional, it was a tough first half against a Fairfield team that came in with not a great record. But if you know Maurice Ford, he used to be the head coach at Johnson. He got him to the state title game. He's gotten Parker to the state title game. He won it all a couple years ago at Fairfield in 2020. So he knows how to win in the postseason. But they really responded in the second half and locked up there. And then, as I said, as Jakari so succinctly put it, it's very hard to beat a team 4 times.
Right.
And especially from your backyard that knows you so well. But they were able to do that with the Mae Jemison Jags and move on. And now Coach Brown can have a chance to win the 3rd state championship in his career. And as Jakari said, would mean a ton because for these boys, it would be a back-to-back title. And we haven't seen that done since the days of Jack Dawson Butler.
All right, let's get that break in. We are live from Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive. Make sure you come on in. We'll take care of your breakfast here at Bubby's Diner, Whitesburg Drive.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck on the Parkway northbound at Weatherly. Got a utility pole down there. They're rerouting traffic. I think there may be an injury involved. Cambridge Lane near Huntsville-Browns Ferry, 2 overturned vehicles. That one's reported with injuries. Capshaw east of Wall Triana reports with injuries. And we had a wreck with 5 vehicles involved westbound on 565 near Sparkman. That traffic's been exiting off at the Sparkman exit, running the access road and getting back on past the Space and Rocket Center. The flounder fish sandwich at Popeyes is only $4.49. You can make it a combo for $6.49. Popeyes, University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick and the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel & McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Doctors Without Borders teams confront hard facts in conflict and crisis zones. When others look away, we step in to act. Because measles still kills more than 100,000 children every year, we're there to vaccinate more than 1 million. Because some countries have only 1 or 2 mental health professionals, we provided over 400,000 mental health consultations last year. The fact is, your support makes our life-saving work possible. Picture the impact we can have together. DoctorsWithoutBorders.org.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
Hi everybody, Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Memorial Parkway. Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental is independently owned and operated by local folks right here in the Valley? They are celebrating 10 years into business this year and have grown to be North Alabama's largest supplier of rental skid steers and mini excavators. Now, if you have a question about what tool to use, just call them at 964-6081, and the pros at Valley Equipment will get you into the tool that you need for your specific project. Valley Equipment, more care in every rental.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Hey man, this is John Dees, pastor Cross Point Church. Whether your own marriage is like 1st and goal from the 1-yard line or 4th and 15 from your own 2, there is something to be learned which will help us grow and our wives to grow closer to God and to each other and to finish the game well. So if you are married or single again, our new marriage series, I Do, Building Our Marriage, is for you. Join us this Sunday at Cross Point Church at 9 o'clock or 10:30, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, or check us out at cpcfamily.org.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back to Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you as we come to you live this morning from Bubby's Diner, located along Whitesburg Drive. Make sure you come on out here and enjoy some breakfast here at Bubby's Diner. We want to see you come on out here and enjoy some fine food. Drew, we said all we wanted to hear from the Alabama High School Athletic Association was a response, and we got a response in return in terms when it comes to the Oakwood Adventist situation. As far as their forfeit game goes, Executive Director Alvin Briggs did release the letter that he sent to Governor Kay Ivey and addressed all the questions. And in part, basically, this was their response. Oakwood agreed in writing to participate in all scheduled playoff games without petition or forfeit when they became a member in 2017. It was our understanding that Oakwood's administration would take responsibility and ownership and explain the situation to the student-athletes, parents, and stakeholders. That was the response in short. Several times they wrote that in the response to the governor. As far as state money goes, when the governor asked if they violated anything with the Alabama taxpayers who support and subsidize the Alabama High School Athletic Association's operations, they said that the response was the AHSAA does not receive any state funding. As discussed above, the decision was based on Oakwood's agreement when they became a member. They also went on to say that they did talk about, therefore, regardless of news reports and the public narrative that has been created, the Alabama High School Athletic Association simply upheld the agreement that was made when Oakwood became a full member.
Weak.
That was the state's
totally
response.
Weak. I mean, that's all that is just the usual, well, we had an agreement with them, in 2017. And in other words, we're not going to bend. We know the drill. We're going to hold them to it. So they might as well not even compete in the playoffs because they're going to have to forfeit every time.
Yeah.
Because the AHSAA, if it was a football situation, would have already tweaked it, and they would have already been playing. But instead, and I have respect for Alvin Briggs and Jamie Lee and a lot of these guys that I know that work for the AHSAA, but that's weak. That is completely weak sauce. You already know the situation. So, in other words, why did you even let them agree to let them compete when you know this is going to happen?
And again, it's not like they were asking to move the whole entire tournament. Not like they were literally flip-flopping a game.
Just flip-flop a time so you can help them out, okay? Instead of being a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
Which is, unfortunately in some situations what the AHSAA ends up being. And I'm not afraid to say it, okay? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, basically they put the blame back on Oakwood.
Yeah, they blamed Oakwood for they're basically blaming their religious beliefs on why they made them forfeit, which is idiotic.
Yeah.
It's really easy to move a time. Okay, it's not difficult. This ain't rocket science.
Yeah, so that is the response. We were waiting for it from the High School Athletic Association, and we got it.
Shocker, and it was weak.
Let's go out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jeff from the Borough with us. Good morning, Jeff.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
Jeff.
I would say that is pretty weak thinking. I know down here the districts and down here, and I don't know about the regions, yeah, I mean too, but the district down here can set their own times as far as games. They don't have to worry about the state association telling when they can play or not. So I don't know how y'all's works up there. Sounds like they tell you when you can play. Is that pretty much what they do?
When they get to the region, I guess you could say the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, those times are set. The High School Athletic Association sets those, and that's when they play. And Oakwood Adventist was set to play at 4:30 in the 1A Sweet 16 game. There was a 1A Sweet 16 game at 7:30. They just wanted to flip-flop them. They wanted to be at the 7:30. All three teams had agreed to switch, and it was not going to be an issue, and the state said no.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. I mean, but some organizations, like I know a state organization up here does stuff that I don't understand. I mean, they do stuff that I mean, I don't like adding a class for 3 sports this year. They went to 4 classes for basketball. And I don't understand it, and they said years ago we had 3 classes for football. They went to 5, then to 6, and their rationale was, well, more kids can play for a state championship. That's what their rationale was, because they're having more classifications. And some people think that, well, it's just everybody gets a trophy these days. That's what they think. That's what most fans think. And it's just, and I think so too. It's just more trophies given out and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of thing. But Drew, I did want to ask you, UAB wins again last night to 21 wins.
I mean, they're having a great regular season. I just still think when it's all said and done, they're going to have to win the conference tournament, just like Western Kentucky had to last year. Western Kentucky didn't get it done. North Texas, but I mean, they're having. I'm proud of them, just like I'm proud of Jacksonville State. But Jacksonville State's going to have to win their league too. Jacksonville State clinched their division, and they're having a great season. But it's ultimately going to come down to how well you play in your conference tournament. So I think that's what's going to have to happen for UAB.
Yeah. That's like Bill Tennessee right now. The men's team, they won 12 out of 13. Since middle of January, the only game they lost was at UAB. They won 7 in a row, and if they're 21-7, and they were picked dead last in the conference tournament season, they only picked 2-0, and they the women's team just won their 20th game last night. They're one of 10 college basketball teams in Division I that their men's and women's program both have won 20 ball games this season.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure you saw Murray State beat the Stew out of Belmont last night, and they were saying that Murray State's pretty much a lock for the tournament. They said the only way that Belmont can get in is if they get to the finals of the tournament and beat Beat Murray in the finals, and OVC will get 2 in, which I think they will. But I don't know how y'all feel about that as far as Conference USA. I know UAB a big deal there, and Andy Kennedy's doing a great job with them, and I know McDavid's probably going to get Coach of the Year in Conference USA, but it'd be interesting to see what the tournament does, because I know North Texas either last year or a couple years ago won a tournament game, and they did
last year. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, they're 14-1 this year in the league, so they've only got 3 games. I know Middle plays their big rival Western tomorrow here in Murfreesboro. They've got 2 on the road, so and the conference tournaments at Frisco and Dallas Cowboys practice doing so here in a couple of weeks. But I don't know what you guys think. Do you think UAB, if they make the NIT, can make a run? Do you think they can make a run in the NIT if they get in?
Well, I mean, it's certainly a lot of times in the NIT, it's how motivated you are. I think UAB would be extremely motivated to make a statement and make a run in a tournament like that. But first and foremost, they want to get into the NCAAs. I mean, but I really think Conference USA is having a great year. No doubt about that. I do think the OVCs have been really solid as well. There's a lot of great mid-major leagues. There's going to be some high drama in some of these tournaments. And just for example, in the Southern Conference, you look at Samford. they were under Bucky McMillan. They were really struggling early in conference play, but they had a lot of dudes hurt. They've gotten healthier, and now they're 20-9 and one of the hottest teams in the league. So basketball in the state of Alabama as a whole is very, very strong right now. Bucky's, building something over there at Sanford. You got Scott Cross trying to get Troy basketball back. You've got UAB and Andy Kennedy. You've got Ray Harper.
Troy's having a
Jacksonville
decent
State.
year this year,
and then you've got
as well.
I mean, we've already talked about on the Division II side what UAH is doing under John Schulman, and then Alabama and Auburn. So the state of Alabama right now is very, very strong in basketball, both in high school and college. Probably the strongest we've ever seen it. So it's a fun time to be a basketball fan. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, Troy's 10-5 right now, 19-9 overall. That's Troy.
That's another. And then and Tony Pujols at UNA, he got Jakari Lane. So and remember last year they got to the finals of their conference tournament and nearly they would not have been eligible because they weren't a full-fledged member yet, but they could have won the tournament.
All right, Jeff, thanks for the phone call this morning.
Appreciate it.
How cool would that be? Alabama, Auburn, UAB, Troy, Jacksonville State all get 20 wins.
Yeah.
5 programs in the state of Alabama have the potential to get 20 wins. And by the way, South Alabama, not to leave them out, they're 18-10 right now, 8-7 in Sun Belt play.
Yeah.
Could have 6 teams in the state of Alabama at 20 wins. All right, that's going to do it for our first hour live from Bubby's Diner. Art Briles. Oh, looking like he's 100, but he is back coaching. I bet you can't guess where if you didn't read the reports. Live from Bubby's Diner, it's Talking Ball for Hour 2 coming up next.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck on the Parkway northbound at Weatherly. Got a utility pole down there. They're rerouting traffic. I think there may be an injury involved. Cambridge Lane near Huntsville Browns Ferry, 2 overturned vehicles. That one's reported with injuries. Capshaw east of Wall Triana reports with injuries. And we had a wreck with 5 vehicles involved westbound on 565 near Sparkman. That traffic's been exiting off at the Sparkman exit, running the access road and getting back on past the Space and Rocket Center. The flounder fish sandwich at Popeyes is only $4.49. You can make it a combo for $6.49. Popeyes, University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Morning rain showers will give way to just a little bit of sunshine through the course of the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little cooler. Highs only hanging out in the upper 40s and lower 50s, dropping into the low and mid 30s as we head into the overnight. Mostly cloudy to overcast sky for the first half of your weekend. Scattered showers across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. Only dropping into the upper 30s and lower 40s as we head into the overnight. Mostly cloudy sky for your Sunday. Temperatures hanging out in the lower 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
UFC Fight Night Saturday in Las Vegas. The main event, the catchweight bout between Islam Makhachev -900 and Bobby Green at +550. Next Saturday at UFC 272, Colby Covington a -350 50 favorite against Jorge Masvidal at plus 265. In the ring, Josh Taylor, the undisputed junior welterweight champion, defends his belt Saturday against Jack Catterall. The odds heavily favoring Taylor at minus 1775, Catterall plus 850. The NASCAR Cup Series continues Sunday with the Wise Power 400. Kyle Larson, the current favorite, at plus 400, followed by Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch at plus 800, Denny Hamlin plus 850, and Martin Truex at plus 1,000.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It is hour 2 of Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We are live from Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive. Nothing like kickstarting your Friday morning with some breakfast. That's how we just decided to get Friday's show going. It was like, you know what? We've had a long week. It's been a busy week. We just need to cap it off with some breakfast. Do the show live. Bubby's Diner, our host this morning. They've got all kinds of great breakfast, the pancakes, the French toast, the bacon, the eggs, the donut slider. Oh, they've got all kinds of good stuff. And then you can just might as well hang out for lunch. And then you can get some ice cream and all the great desserts. The desserts are second to none as well. And that's what we always want to talk about. But speaking of doing well, there was a lot of speculation that maybe Art Briles could make a return to the SEC as a coordinator. His name kept popping up every now and then. And yesterday it was funny because Grambling State, a member of the SWAC conference, at first blasted everybody and said, no, Art Briles is not coming, Art Briles is not coming. And then 2 hours later released a release that says Art Briles, the former Baylor head coach, is now the new offensive coordinator for Hugh Jackson at Grambling State.
Yeah, the former Hugh Jackson, who was the coach of the Cleveland Browns, and I think they won one game in 2 years. But Hugh struggled certainly mightily as a professional head coach. But
he said, remember now, he came out after Brian Flores said that Miami was placing a bounty on losing, that Cleveland kind of had the same thing, that when he was there, they were basically told not to win so that they could get draft picks.
Yeah, okay. But
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts. Anyway, but Hugh Jackson is now the new head coach of the Grambling State Tigers. A lot of tradition there in the SWAC, but he's going to bring Art Briles back into college coaching. So they're going to be wide open offensively. Art had done a couple years back in the high school ranks in Texas, but now getting back to trying to climb the ladder. We'll see. Basically, Brandon Marcello at 24/7 Sports called it the most controversial hire of the offseason because of what happened to Art. Everyone knows about the situation at Baylor where he basically let the program run out of control.
He did not.
The self-policing was not there at all.
Yeah, he did not handle the situation properly. He was fired after an investigation into a sexual assault at the school.
Mm-hmm.
They did conclude that he did not handle the situation properly. He's been in the mix for other jobs, supposedly, since then.
Yeah, as coordinators and things of that nature as an OC, and they've been nixed when the conference commissioners of said leagues found out they were trying to bring Art Briles back in. He's kind of been considered radioactive.
Right.
Now, his son Kendall Briles has done a nice job for Sam Pittman in Arkansas as an OC, But Art's been trying to get back into college football, so it's going to be interesting because he had a great run, as the head coach at Houston and then what he was doing at Baylor. But, again, the Baylor situation was really ugly.
It was.
When it finally came to roost, so to speak. And it really had nothing to do with his coaching ability. It was just the overall running of a program, being compliant, having an atmosphere that, that held people accountable and also didn't feel like it was dangerous. Because I'll never forget some commentary from Kirk Herbstreit saying when he visited the Baylor program and campus, he didn't like the vibe. He didn't like the attitude around the program.
Right.
And that's from the head coach down. I mean, I know the athletic director got some heat too. If I remember correctly, the athletic director, the president, everybody lost their jobs.
Yes.
At the university at Baylor. But the thing about it is that it really comes down to the head football coach. You've got to be able to run the program properly. Hire people to do their jobs, hold them accountable, and I don't think that was happening. I think it was more with Art Briles. It sounded like the more you dug into it, it was more cover up, and do whatever it took to win games.
So let me ask you this: if Art Briles has success at Grambling as an offensive coordinator, does this rehabilitate his image to where Art Briles could land in a mid-major or work his way back into a Power 5? Maybe not a head coaching job, but does Art Briles reemerge in college football if this stop at Grambling State has any kind of success?
I mean, you never want to say no. I mean, we've seen guys get second and third opportunities. The closest,
you look at Hugh Freeze at Liberty.
Well, the closest I can remember Art almost getting a job was Southern Mississippi. His name was prominent as OC over there until the administration, I think, got some blowback from Southern Miss, and they decided, no, we're not going to allow him to come in here. But if Grambling, starts winning the SWAC with regularity, if his offenses are really, really productive, I mean, I could see that. I mean, he would have to be vetted heavily again, and there would have to be someone take a big chance. I don't think it'd be as a head coach. I think maybe, as you said, it might be as a coordinator on the group of 5 level, maybe, where it would be his next step, moving back up the ladder, and then maybe he would get a Power 5 opportunity. But, again, it's one of those things where I know Wes Neighbors has been on our airwaves, and he's wanted to even speak to Art Briles, and they tried to feature him on the drive. At the time, Art didn't want to, go on the record with some things because it was a tough, thing he was going through. But I think Wes has been on the record as saying that he felt like Art deserved another chance, and I'm sure he does, and glad to see him getting one at Grambling. Let's see if he can make the most of it.
And you look at the SWAC conference, my what a conference that has become as far as names go.
Yeah,
with head coaching stops. I mean, you have Hugh Jackson now at Grambling, you have Deion Sanders at Jackson State, and then right here in Normal at Alabama A&M, Connell Maynor coaching there. So. All right, 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Again, Drew and I on the road this morning, coming to you live from Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive. Step on in here, and we can take care of your breakfast on a Friday morning here at Bubby's Diner. So get on in here and enjoy some success. I think all is good. I don't know if you saw the story coming out that the NFL Combine there were some potential holdouts for the Combine because they were wanting to do COVID. The NFL was wanting to put all the players in bubbles, and they did not want them to have access to their trainers, to their coaches, to anybody because they were going to be inside the bubble. And some of the agents were like, wait a minute, NFL, you need to change your policy if you want all these Combine people to come in, because we're all fine now, and I think the NFL, I think they've kind of changed it a little bit to where they're going to be okay, and the Combine appears to be going on now without a hitch.
Yeah, it's a very important part of the evaluation process for these head coaches and general managers, and a chance to see a lot of players work out, the chance to interview a lot of them, and as you continue to formulate your plan for the NFL draft coming up in late April. And so the Senior Bowl is one of the first big steps, and the Combine is probably, I would consider, the second. I know they'll do individual workouts and fly guys around and things of that nature, but again, the Combine is always a crucial evaluation tool when it comes to the NFL.
All right, coming on last night, by the way, in case you missed it, in case you did not tune in to 97.7 ESPN The Zone, the UAH Chargers were victorious last night, 68-57 over a scrappy Mississippi College Choctaws team. So the men now have just 40 minutes of basketball left to play in the regular season, and if they can be 1 point better, that's all they have to be, 1 point better than Delta State on Saturday, they will host a first-round, a quarterfinal Gulf South Conference tournament game on Super Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Just 1 point better. It's all they got to be. It's not a beauty contest at this point.
Well, the revenge tour continues. They certainly hope that they can. They've already taken out revenge on Mississippi College and Valdosta State. Now it's just Delta State who got them early, and it's showing a lot of maturity the way they've been able to pull these games out, even for a young squad. And so, if they can win this next game, they're already in the conference tournament, but they can host on Super Tuesday, which has been an annual kind of rite of passage for UAH. And we all know how good they've been inside the stable at Spraggins Hall. I mean, they've only lost one home game all year. We talked about that to Union, and really, Union was fortunate to escape there. But UAH needs to get this done and host. I know that's what John Schulman wants. It'd be monumental to have someone have to come to your gym on Tuesday, and then if you win that game, you advance to the Pete Hanna Center, and that would be the semifinals of the Gulf South Conference tournament, and then you're 2 wins away from the postseason. Certainly, I know UAH is trying to make a late bid to even be an at-large, but when you control your own destiny, and if you win, you're in, that's the best way. And this is what UAH put themselves in position to do late in the regular season, was control their own destiny.
Yeah.
And once they won at West Georgia, they knew if you win 3 home games, you get a 4th one. Wow. And then you can move on in the conference tournament. So kudos to Coach John Schulman, C.J. Williamson, Luke Burnett and all the guys pulling out that game. Sound like Daniel Saylor was having a good first half last night when I was listening. He continues to get better, has a lot of potential, and I think this UAH team is dangerous going down the stretch.
And Max Schulman made a shot or two last night, so that was impressive.
In the first half, I think he made 3 threes, so he was shooting the basketball much better.
Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on, ma'am. We'll take care of his. Had to do something here at Bubby's Diner. Had to make on the fly. All right, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Randy's with us this morning. Oh, Brandon's with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon. What's up, man?
I can do my best Randy, but I don't know how well people buy it.
Sorry about that. I thought he said Randy. That is my bad.
Yeah, well, we were taking care of our good friend Dave Howell over here and buying his breakfast at Bubby's Diner.
Yep.
So I heard that Chad was coming down. There was supposed to be a pancake eating contest at 10:30. Is that correct?
Hey, if you want it to be, we can. I'm primed up and ready to go.
No doubt.
Do your best. What was that, Joey Chestnut? I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't even know how many. I mean, I know I could eat.
Scott wants me to eat a hot dog at 9 o'clock. I'm going to tell you that.
No, I'm just saying that I know I could eat a few pancakes, but I just don't know how many I could go for.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who needs to eat a hot dog, the AHSA.
Yeah. Well, and I just got a message, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the record.
Okay.
A guy sent me a message on Facebook saying that, and my response was, then why not go on the record, and if you're the AHSAA, and say this, but that supposedly the AHSAA reached out to Oakwood and wanted to try to arrange a time for them to play before the playoffs started, and Oakwood refused, which I kind of find hard to believe.
To play before the playoffs started?
Yeah, in other words, no. In other words, they were going to work out a time for them.
Okay.
What I was sent was the AHSAA reached out to Oakwood before the postseason and asked them if it was okay to move the schedule around to avoid what happened, and Oakwood refused. Why would you refuse And then and as I responded, then why not release that info if you're the AHSAA? Or
when you
even,
put it in your response,
or
when you got
even
questions
Oakwood.
from when the governor asked you questions, why did you not come out and say then this is what
Oakwood's response
Oakwood
was?
refused? Yeah, Oakwood refused to.
Or why,
to do
if you're
this.
Oakwood, why don't you release the info?
Right.
To continue to be compliant with the AHSAA. I don't get that.
I have a feeling there's a lot more to this story than what we're kind of putting the pieces to. I have a feeling there's a lot more to this story, Brandon. And right now, the Alabama High School Athletic Association is hiding behind its cloak that it always does. That is the thing.
Because if I were the AHSAA and they had refused to move, that's what I would have released. Because if they told you that, then if I am the AHSAA, I'm taking the pressure off myself. Like, look, we tried to help these people out because it makes you look bad.
Now, let me ask you this. In there, and sorry, Brandon, to cut you off here, but Drew, I'm going to ask you this. When we go to state championship games, you go to state football, state basketball, anything like that, does all those ticket sales go to the Alabama High School Athletic Association for those tournaments? Do we know?
Well, I mean, this year everything was GoFan, so everything was online. I think the school is going to get their cut, but they have to wait until everything is processed, until I guess after the postseason.
Like at the Birmingham, the BJCC and Wallace State, you buy all those tickets. Where does all of that money go to?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's taxpayer money.
Right, it is.
That's where I want to know.
Yeah, and I, as far as when you get a chance to host a home game, like in the area tournament and stuff, I think they have to, they don't get their money right away. I think the state, the AHSAA has to, I guess, account for the money, see how much you sold, and then I guess give you and then pay you for what you would have made at the gate.
Right.
For that. And the AHSAA also gets the concession money, from what I understand.
See, so that's taxpayer money. So when they say that they don't get state funding or they don't get funding from the taxpayers,
right,
they technically do because it's okay, Brandon. Sorry about that, buddy. Anything else?
Well, what I'm looking at here is the HSAA. If they're saying, okay, we're going to hold to the fact that you have to play a game when it's scheduled. What they're telling me and everybody else is that ordinance is more important than what is in the best interest of the membership. They had this prearranged. Everybody agreed to swap. And if you're going to say that ordinances is more important than membership, then what you're telling the teams is that we've devolved to the point of holding you accountable to technicalities because our rule book is more important to us than you are.
Yeah, and I've seen some responses. I've seen some responses on the other side that said, hey, look, Oakwood Adventists knew this going in. They knew the situation. They knew what was going on. Why did they not appeal to the state? Why did they not send an appeal in? Why did, I've seen some people argue that, hey, Oakwood Adventists knew what was going on, so they should not be surprised by all of this. So I don't know. It's like I said, it's one of those things where I think there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered. One, does the Alabama High School Athletic Association get taxpayer money? And should they have to open up a little bit more on what they do? Because, Drew, it's not just this Oakwood Adventist situation. There's been a lot of people that look at the Alabama High School Athletic Association and have a lot of questions because of a lot of things that they have done over the years.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some gray areas.
Yes.
And so it's just funny how it changes sometimes.
Well, just not being able to offer reasonable accommodation. You can't give every accommodation. Let's just say you had a school, for instance, that was a Muslim school and they can't play any sports all through Ramadan. You can't really hold an entire league hostage for weeks, 2 weeks, a month. But if people want to swap games on a day and every coach says, hey, that's fine, that's a reasonable accommodation. And it just seems to me like they're saying, you're going to do what we say when we say you're going to do it, and we're not going to make any exclusion for any reason. And that's a bunch of crap. These are kids playing ball games And if you can't give them a reasonable accommodation, then maybe your organization needs to be dissolved or strong-armed by the state legislature.
All right, Brandon, thanks for the call, bud.
$10
Appreciate
no shot. Roll Tide.
All right, let's stay on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Eric is with us. Good morning, Eric.
Hey, guys. Hey, just the reference that taxpayer funds are being used to fund SAA is incorrect. I mean, our taxpayers are not paying in to buy referees for sporting events. I mean, the schools pay those funds.
Okay.
The officials show up, officiate the game station sanctioned by the organization. I mean, nobody's forcing taxpayers to fund schools participating in the association. Each school has a decision to participate or not. I mean, the parents' funds are fees to play the sport, fund the officiating that pays into the association. So the concept that taxpayer money is flowing into this organization is incorrect. Yeah, each school or each player has a decision, do I want to participate? And they fund the association. And now I don't know the cut or the tournament fees that a school must pay to, like, for basketball to participate. But, I just get kind of perturbed when I hear the term taxpayer money is funding high school sports. It really isn't.
Yeah. And I was just wondering, does the ticket money that they spend, does that go back to the state? So that's what the question that I was wondering.
I'm sure there is a split at some level, and I'm sure Scott Stater could call in and explain it a lot better than I can. But Kay Ivey stepping into it. Yes, she's got the political clout to ask questions, but there's no money in the state of Alabama public education budget to fund baseball officials, for example. I mean, that money's coming out of concession sales, and those guys are getting paid to show up, umpire a game in the game section, sanctioned by the association. I mean, each school makes a decision, will we participate in sanctioned sports or not? So, I mean, I feel sorry for the Oakwood kids, and I agree, it was handled poorly.
Yeah. All right, thanks for the call. All right. Is it Evan, Chad? Is that right? All right. Evan's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
One thing I was going to add to this, I'm a little on the other side, track and cross-country type situations. Do you guys remember whenever the tornado come through, destroyed Tuscaloosa, came all the way up through Coleman? We were hosting a track sectional at Gunnersville, and it knocked out power all through Marshall County, all through surrounding counties, and we had a sectional going on at that time. Whenever the meet director contacted the state and said, hey, we don't have power, we can't do this, it's almost 10 o'clock at night, they basically told us, hey, well, if you don't get your sectional done, no one from your sectional will qualify for the state championships. Nobody. And we ran under the lights. We had parents bringing in generators. We hand-timed the thing. And, I mean, at a natural disaster like that you're not even going to allow us to finish it on a Sunday whenever we can get power in there under regular daylight, a little questionable.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
For that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. It seems like there needs to be a little bit of bend.
Well, and then
a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of bend.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened to us a little bit. There was this past track season, between all the COVID stuff, and then we didn't have great weather in North Alabama last year during sectionals. I know Fort Payne was struggling. James Clemens was struggling, and they were talking about delaying, possibly coming back the next day. AHSA said absolutely not, and if you guys don't get done, anything you don't get done doesn't qualify. And we were lucky. I will say at Fort Payne, we were lucky. They did a good job, ran the meeting. We got out of there all awards 30 minutes before the storm hit, but we were on a rolling schedule, and for those kids that did back-to-back events that were supposed to have a time frame to rest, they didn't have anything. It was either, hey, we got to get this done or it's not going to happen. It was rough.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they just need to bend sometimes. There's some things that they have to bend, and if it's football, they bend. That's just the way it is sometimes. All right, Evan, thanks for the call, bud.
Thank you. And before we go to break and bring in Brian Matthews, a high school coach from the community just DM'd me on Twitter to give me some insight into the process of how this works with the AHSAA and the regional tournaments. You were asking about the money.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it says the teams that make it to the regional tournament do get a cut from the tickets.
Okay.
The team that wins gets more money than the team that loses. And then he said when their program lost in 2017 in the Sweet 16 at JSU, they received an $800 check from the AHSAA about 2 to 3 weeks after it concluded, and then they said it's justified by paying teams what they think it costs you to travel and how many tickets were sold during your time of game. And so, because they go back and look at ticket sales.
Okay.
And so I would assume it's the same kind of deal that they're going to do this year with GoFan. Because if it was a normal time where it wasn't GoFan, then you have the ticket, you have the money from the gate already, the cash. But it's going to have to be sent from the state, I would think. And then I guess from the GoFan situation, because everything this year has been via GoFan. So I would imagine with what this coach is telling me, a few weeks down the road, each of these high schools are going to get a check, in other words, for, the money from the ticket sales and things of that nature.
All right, let's get that break in. When we come back, Auburn heads to Tennessee on Saturday. Brian Matthews will join us, talk a little basketball and what's new with Brian Harsin.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
HPD is reopening the number 2 and 3 lanes on 565 westbound at Sparkman. They're going to have the number 1 lane still blocked, but that'll help traffic. That traffic's backed way back all the way to the Parkway trying to come westbound. Got a new wreck southbound on Research Park at Old Madison Pike. It may have an injury. Parkway and Weatherly had a utility pole involved. They've just reopened that one. Cambridge Lane near Huntsville Browns Ferry, overturned vehicles there. And Capshaw east of Wall Triana also had injury. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent. It's a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hey there, UAH fans. I'm Morris Lilienthal. If you've been injured in an accident, visit MorrisTheAttorney.com right now to get the help you need. Don't let the insurance company take advantage of you. I have personally helped over 4,000 clients with their injury claims, and I'm ready to help you too. My firm, Martinson & Beeson, has been helping clients for over 80 years, and we have received over 300 5-star Google reviews. Get in touch with me right now by visiting MorrisTheAttorney.com. There's no charge for our meeting. Again, that's MorrisTheAttorney.com. Look forward to helping you. Go Chargers.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
That new doctor is drop dead gorgeous.
Please, he's just another RV League educated surgeon with good hair.
No, he's different.
Nurses, we got a Class C motorhome with a detached driver's side mirror. Meet me in the OR. Stat.
Right away, doctor.
No, she's on break. I'll handle this one.
Oh, you conniving little...
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
For over 20 years, Audio Insight has been designing and installing systems that integrate today's technology into homes and businesses all over the Tennessee Valley. At Audio Insight, they don't provide one-size-fits-all system solutions. Instead, they design your system from the ground up based on your valuable input. By working closely with you, Audio Insights can ensure that your system will meet your performance, budget, and aesthetic needs. Visit the showroom at 1229 Putman Drive off Jordan Lane and experience some of their fine products firsthand. Visit audio-insight.com to learn more.
Leading the way for sports talk in North Alabama.
Winning is the only thing that matters.
Thank you.
Yes, amen, I say yes.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talkin Ball with Scott and Drew.
It is Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you until 9 a.m. 30 more minutes left of our show this morning. We mentioned how big Saturday is for the Auburn Tigers. They travel to take on Tennessee in a big time. This has got tournament feel written all over it. Auburn and Tennessee tomorrow.
Well, I mean, this is if Auburn wins this game, they're not going to be denied the SEC regular season championship, or there won't be a tie. They're going to win it outright. Because I like the way the rest of their schedule sets up. Even the road trip to Mississippi State, I think, is very winnable for them and the talent that they have, and then finishing with South Carolina at home. But right now, this is one of their biggest tests of the season coming up at Tennessee. We know how emotional it is. It's Bruce Pearl returning to his old stomping grounds. But this Auburn team is playing for a regular season SEC title. They're playing for a number 1 seed. All these things are very, very possible for the Auburn Tigers right now, who have been the most consistent team from start to finish in the Southeastern Conference. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this football staff being put together by Brian Harsin. Could he lose another coach off of this staff? But we're going to talk about all that with a long time, since 2001, member of the AuburnSports.com family, part of the Rivals Network, and that's Brian Matthews, and he's been good enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brian, you're back with Scott and Drew this morning in Huntsville. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Always good to come in and talk a little ball with you guys.
Yep. We appreciate the time, man.
Big-time basketball tomorrow for Auburn and Tennessee. I said this feels like tournament time already with this type of basketball game that we could see tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like a Sweet 16 game almost, Brian.
It really is, and it's really for the top of the SEC because Kentucky goes to Arkansas too. So, if the home teams both win, it's going to be really tight at the top for the last 2 weeks or the last 2 games. And as you said, if Auburn was to win, that would put them in terrific shape to go ahead and win this regular season outright.
Mm-hmm. And we know that Bruce Pearl would love to do that, and he's not going to admit it to you guys, but it would be very special to do it at Tennessee. He's not going to put the nail in the coffin, but take a huge step forward.
Yeah, and he's actually won 6 consecutive games against Tennessee, which
that's right.
Is a good sign going there. And I'm sure Tennessee will be very, very fired up to play Auburn. They're good at home. Auburn still has the best road record in the SEC, I believe, but have lost their last 2 road trips. So this is going to be a really interesting game. I know from Auburn's perspective, they want to show they're making progress in certain areas, and they can get over this little hump here at the end of the season and start playing, up to the same standard they were, several weeks ago. So this will be a big test for them.
We know that the talent that Auburn brings. Jabari Smith, we know the rest of them, but I thought it was interesting that Bruce Pearl was trying to talk about different ways and how they're really trying to get Alan Flanagan back on track, and that he mentioned that he's just maybe not the same player he was before he got hurt.
Yeah, he just hasn't quite got it back yet. He had I think he scored like 12, 14, 16 points about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it's been really inconsistent before and after that. And, the positive with Allen is he is playing defense quite well, and he's out there giving Auburn some important minutes and doing some little things good, too. I kind of think it's more about his confidence, and if he can just get a couple of good games together, he can start contributing more on the offensive end. I think, the amount of games he's got in his belt now, he should be comfortable as far as coming back from the injury. It's just a matter of just getting back in his groove.
Yeah, I mean, in this Auburn team, the good thing is they seem to be getting healthy. Zep Jasper, has been back at point guard. I know he's a big part of things, and I know they want to have the chemistry down too before they make this postseason run. But the cool thing is Jabari Smith lately has had some huge scoring games. He seems to really be getting better, which is what you want to see of a guy that with that talent level. I mean, he has the ability. I was talking about this the other day to be a Chuma Okeke type guy in the postseason. We remember how good Chuma was. Tragically, he had the knee injury against North Carolina when he was having his best game, and was a huge part of the reason that Auburn blew out the Tar Heels. But again, Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, not a better front court combination in all of college basketball, in my opinion, Brian.
Yeah, they are tearing it up right now. I would love to see them go up against Gonzaga. That would be a terrific matchup if those two could ever meet. Of course, if they're going to meet, it's probably going to have to be in the finals the way it's going to probably be set up in the tournament. We'll see. But those two are playing terrifically. I think the most important thing for Auburn, though, is the guys around them, especially the guards, to play well. You mentioned Zep Jasper. He had his best game this season with 15 points against Ole Miss. And if he can start scoring and give Auburn that other option at the guard position that, can make some threes, can make defenses be concerned about him, I think that opens up a lot more for Auburn offensively. So I think that's a really important part of Auburn, sort of transitioning into a little bit better team here as we hit the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Is this Brian? Have you seen this Auburn team play its best basketball game, or what's your feeling about going into Knoxville on Saturday? Where do you think this Auburn team really actually stands?
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting question. I don't think Auburn has played their best game yet, at least for this part of the season. Now, maybe a month ago, when they were really rolling, they had some terrific games. They blew out Oklahoma. I think they beat Alabama by 19 points. Had some really impressive a win over Kentucky there. But I really feel like teams have done a good job of scouting Auburn, trying to take away that high pick and roll with Walker Kessler, and taking away that lob from him. That was just so devastating to some teams there in January and early February. And Auburn just had to adjust to that, and that's part of the process. And, you speak of that 2019 Auburn team. They lost 4 of 6, I think, the second half of the SEC season before they got on that roll and just, ran through the last 2 or 3 regular season games, SEC tournament, and all the way to the Final Four. So I think that's what Bruce is hoping this team can do. They can, find that second win, so to speak, make those adjustments they need to make for teams that are adjusting against them, and then get on that roll.
Well, and then I think the big key is I'm confident in what Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith are going to bring to the table, but the guard play has to be consistent. In the last game, Zep Jasper made shots, was very efficient, hit 4 threes, scored 15 points. His game has been running the team, though. He's really not been a double-digit scorer, but what I still think the key to this Auburn team, what you're going to get from the front court. I still think it's the guards that are going to ultimately determine if this Auburn team goes to another Final Four.
I tend to agree with you, and I think Jasper is a big part of that. He averaged, I think, 15.6 points at College of Charleston last year, so he did. He has that impact, and I think it's just a matter of him being confident to go out there and knock down some shots, which he did against Ole Miss. And, if you're Auburn, you're hoping this is just the start of something, because if he can get going, and then Wendell can be a little bit more consistent, maybe he can get Alvin Flanagan back, making some shots. He's certainly capable of being that guy, for sure. And then KD Johnson's been in a little bit of a slump here lately.
Yeah.
So if he can get going, Auburn's got the guard talent to make a run and to get those guys, performing at a more consistent level. It's just got to happen.
Yeah, what I was going to ask you was about KD Johnson. He was huge. Like when they went to Tuscaloosa and won, he stepped up, made huge plays. And when they were hot about a month ago, he was really kind of the catalyst for that. But it seems like in the last 2 to 3 weeks, he's been struggling offensively. He only had 2 points against the Ole Miss Rebels at home. How do you get him back involved? And because he seems to be sometimes the emotional leader for this Auburn team.
Yeah, in the last 3 games, I think he's totaled maybe 21 points total. He's capable of doing that in a half, right?
Yes.
I think the key with KD is just giving him the ball. He's very determined, a lot of energy. Will take it to the hole and draw fouls and get involved, in the fast break, and can certainly knock down threes. So I just think you keep feeding him, and eventually you feel like just, as Bruce says, he's going to go with his guys, and KD is one of those guys. So, you feel like a guy like KD who's had so much success this season, eventually those shots will start falling again. And he's also really important to this team, I think, when you talk about the last, minute of a half or last minute of a game, as far as the guy you can, give the ball to and he can make a play for you, a winning play.
You mentioned basketball. I tell you what, I'm just getting a chuckle out of social media these days of people trying to make a big deal about Auburn having to use a Nike basketball instead of a Wilson basketball tomorrow in Knoxville.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but Auburn, if you look at it, those Nike basketballs, they just have not shot them well. And I don't know if that's just, something in their head, or maybe it's just a coincidence or whatever. But, yeah. Auburn uses the Wilson ball, and that is the ball they use in the NCAA tournament. Pretty sure they use it in the SEC tournament, too. So, no worries there.
I don't think we're going to worry about that. But I will say this as far as Auburn football goes. This has been such an interesting odyssey. Brian Harsin will return for his second season at Auburn. We saw Eric Kiesau be elevated to offensive coordinator. I don't think anyone was surprised by that. Brian, give us your thoughts on the moves on this coaching staff in the last week or so, and then the hiring of a very interesting former SEC standout as wide receivers coach.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember Ike Hilliard as a player and a great player in the SEC.
Yes.
And I think he was part of that first national championship team for Florida.
He was. You're right.
And those teams were incredible back in the day. I think it's an interesting hire. I actually think it's as good a hire as Auburn could have hoped for. You know, getting a guy with 23 years of NFL experience playing and coaching. You know, he does not have that coaching experience in college and recruiting, but I think his NFL experience kind of offsets that, because I think, you know, he'll be able to, you know, walk into a house or sit down with a kid and, you know, show them what he's accomplished in the NFL, and that's going to be a big selling point for him. So I think that's a really good addition to the staff for Brian Harsin.
Yeah, and then as far as the quarterback coaching role, will the new OC handle that role now? And now that he's not going to be coaching wide receivers, what have you heard about that?
Yeah, Kiesau is going to coach quarterbacks. I think Carson's going to help out there too, especially this spring, because Auburn's got 5 quarterbacks that are trying to get in there and compete for one job. And I think the plan for this spring is to try to get it down to 2, 3 at most, and then roll into the off season, and then maybe the first couple of weeks or 2 days before you settle on the start.
So is the staff complete now?
Are
we good?
We're hearing the Will Friend rumors.
Are we good there?
I think so. Will Friend, I believe, is a candidate for the Georgia job, but I spoke to our folks over that cover Georgia, and I don't think they consider him a top candidate at the moment. That could always change, of course. But yeah, it seems like the staff is settled for now. You know, no guarantees, of course.
And then the interesting part was Coach Harsin very confident in those around him, at least even on the off the field staff, to promote from within to fill the vacancies.
Yeah, I think when you go through what Harsin, Coach Harsin went through the last couple of weeks, you want to surround yourself with people that you trust and believe in, and that believe in what you want, how you want to run a program. So I'm not surprised that's what he did for the most part in filling those jobs out. So we'll see. Certainly, Auburn didn't make it any easier for him, but it's full steam ahead now, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Baseball off to a decent start as well. Their first weekend of play in the books.
Yep, did a nice job in the Big 12. Being challenged by a good league and going 2-1.
Yeah, and getting good pitching so far. I think their team ERA is about 1.3. They lost at Open Oklahoma 3-0, and then they came back and won 2-1, and then got the bats really going in the last 2 games. Put up 12 against Kansas State, and they were in double digits against Troy. I don't remember what the final score was there. But you got Yale coming in this weekend, and Yale has not played a baseball game in 23 months.
Oh, that's right, because they're from the Ivy League.
Yep, didn't play last year, and they did not play the opening weekend this year. So this will be their first game in quite a while. So I'll just be interested to see how that looks.
Yeah, it really will. That's crazy when you come to think about it. You just really forgot that they really shut down athletics as a whole, the Ivy League, for the most part, and have not been doing a whole lot. But I think we're all excited for Butch Thompson and Auburn to be back home for their first weekend series against Yale. And so they will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It will be 6 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then noon for the final game. So Auburn off to a nice start. We're really happy for them. Not surprised. I think they definitely are looking forward to bouncing back. And they had the largest opening day crowd since 2013 with 3,759. As they win over Troy 13-1. So a very impressive home debut for Butch Thompson's squad, and now they will have their first home weekend series. Brian, we appreciate it. Sorry we had to push you back a little bit. We had a lot of phone calls about the AHSAA and some things we've been talking about, but let everybody know how to connect with you at Auburn Sports.
I appreciate that, and you can check us out at auburnsports.com. I've got updates on the basketball and baseball teams this morning. And you can also follow me on Twitter at BMATAU.
Appreciate it, my
Thanks,
friend.
Brian.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get our final break in. When we come back, Talking Ball will wrap it up from Bubby's Diner.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're westbound on 565 in the backup because of the wreck up near Sparkman, you need to be out of the number one lane before you get to Jordan Lane. They still have the number one lane blocked off. Number 2, 3, and 4 are open. But folks are causing a big bottleneck waiting till they get right up to the scene before they move over. Got Research Park southbound at Old Madison Pike, an injury wreck. Cambridge Lane near Huntsville Browns Ferry. Overturned vehicles involved in that one with injuries. Capshaw east of Wall Triana had injuries. February is American Heart Month. Great time to start a healthy diet and an exercise plan. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists, Bob Wallace Avenue, can help keep your heart healthy. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville, call 256-713-0575.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
Time does keep on slipping into the future, and our time here on Talking Ball is just about done. Want to remind you to come out and join us here at Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive. You can grab breakfast till 11 a.m., and then you can grab some lunch. And if you grab lunch, then you can grab some of the desserts as well, which is kind of what I have had my eye on pretty much all morning. Well, I mean, anywhere you can get a milkshake, the peanut butter pie, the peach blueberry cobbler with ice cream, the banana split. The food is good. The food is phenomenal, and you have the donut slider, you got the donut burger.
Yep.
It's all good.
It's all good here at Bubby's Diner. Absolutely. They've been great hosts to us this morning. Chris Bubby Belcher does a great job of, serving the community here. It's in the old Gibson's building, so come see us. We've already had Dave Howell. We bought his breakfast this morning. I'm about to have some breakfast here at Bubby's Diner. They've got a great menu, as Scott said, very varied here, and that's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they serve breakfast, as he said, until 11 a.m. So come and check it out, no doubt about it. And, of course, also, we're not done for the week. Our great sponsors at University Kia, we're going to be out there tomorrow, Scott.
That's right. From 9 to 11 tomorrow morning, we'll be at University Kia for a special Saturday show. So make sure you wake up with us on a Saturday. We won't have breakfast out there. We will have breakfast
here.
You
never know with Arthur.
Well, I know we ain't going to have breakfast there. We will have breakfast here this morning at Bubby's Diner along Whitesburg Drive, so get on out here. Burgers, fries, malts, and more. It's Bubby's Diner on Whitesburg Drive. Gracious host to us this morning on Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Don't forget, tomorrow, UAH basketball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone 2, beginning at 2 with the UAH women, then at 4 the UAH men. Alabama basketball, Alabama baseball today at 4 o'clock on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
#1.
Get your Ford your way today. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got F-150s in stock right now. We have F-150s on the ground so you can climb behind the wheel and take a test drive today. Plus at Woody Anderson Ford, our 2021 F-150s come with $1,000 in bonus cash, along with financing as low as 0% for up to